People have always been fascinated by wild animals, and this phenomenon has led to the domestication of many species in the past. However, many people also feel a sense of familiarity with wild animals, pushing them to go beyond limits. Some get very close to study them, while others adopt them as pets. In this episode, we have gathered 6 cases of individuals who crossed boundaries with wild animals and paid with their lives. Counting down from the number 6. Timothy Treadwell. Born on April 29, 1957, Timothy Treadwell was an adventurous spirit with a passion that knew no bounds. He was drawn to the wild, specifically to the majestic and often misunderstood grizzly bears of Katmai National Park in Alaska. For 13 summers, Treadwell made the untamed wilderness his home, dedicating his life to living among the bears, filming their behaviors, and advocating for their protection. He saw himself as their guardian, a protector of these great beasts from poachers and other threats. Treadwell's devotion to the bears was not without its dangers. He often got extraordinarily close to them, something few others dared to do. His approach was controversial, earning him both admiration for his daring and criticism for his perceived recklessness. Yet year after year, he returned to the bears, forging a connection that seemed almost mystical. In the summer of 2003, Timothy embarked on what would be his final journey to Katmai, this time accompanied by his girlfriend, Amy Huguenard. The two of them immersed themselves in the natural beauty and raw power of the grizzly bears. However, this year, they decided to stay later into the season than ever before, into the cold days of October, when the bears were more active and desperate for food as they prepared for hibernation. The days grew shorter, and the bears more aggressive. On October 5, 2003, in the fading light of a chilly Alaskan evening, the unthinkable happened. A grizzly bear, driven by hunger and perhaps provoked by the unfamiliar presence of humans so late in the season, attacked the couple in their campsite near the grizzly maze. Treadwell had always believed he could communicate with the bears, but on this night, his words fell silent. The attack was swift and brutal, leaving no time for escape. Both Treadwell and Huguenard lost their lives in those harrowing moments, victims of the very creatures they had come to know and love. The next day, their pilot, arriving to pick them up, found the campsite eerily silent and empty. Concerned, he radioed for help. Authorities arrived and discovered the devastating scene, finding the remains of Treadwell and Huguenard. A video camera lay nearby, capturing only the haunting audio of the attack but no visual record. Number 5. Dawn Brancheau. Born on April 16, 1969, Dawn's love for marine life began in childhood. She pursued her dream with unwavering determination, eventually earning a degree in psychology and animal behavior, which led her to be a skilled and passionate marine animal trainer. Known for her deep bond with the orcas she trained and performed with at SeaWorld Orlando, Dawn was a veteran trainer with over a decade of experience, and her connection with the orcas was evident to anyone who saw her perform. She was especially known for her work with Tilikum, a massive male orca whose size and power were as impressive as his history was troubled. On February 24, 2010, it was a typical day at SeaWorld Orlando. The audience was excited for the Dine with Shamu show, a special experience where visitors could enjoy a meal while watching trainers interact with the orcas. Dawn, with her usual grace and confidence, was performing with Tilikum, the star of the show. The interaction seemed routine, showcasing the strong bond between trainer and orca. As the show progressed, something went tragically wrong. After the performance, Dawn was standing on a platform, engaging with Tilikum. In a sudden and unexpected move, Tilikum grabbed Dawn by her ponytail and pulled her into the water. The audience watched in horror as the orca thrashed and submerged her repeatedly. Despite the trainer's desperate attempts to save her, Dawn Brancheau's life was lost in those agonizing moments. Number 4. Steve Irwin. Known to the world as the Crocodile Hunter, he was a man whose exuberant personality and fearless approach to wildlife made him a beloved figure globally. Born on February 22, 1962 in Melbourne, Australia, Steve grew up around reptiles and wildlife, helping his parents run the Queensland Reptile and Fauna Park. Steve's love for nature was matched only by his commitment to educating the public about the importance of wildlife conservation. He became famous for his daring interactions with some of the most dangerous animals on the planet, from crocodiles to venomous snakes. His signature catchphrase, "Crikey," became synonymous with his brand of adventurous education. In September 2006, Steve was working on a new project, a documentary titled Ocean's Deadliest. He was filming off the coast of Port Douglas in Queensland, exploring the wonders of the Great Barrier Reef. On September 4, 2006, he and his crew were in shallow waters, encountering a variety of marine life, including a large stingray. Stingrays are typically docile creatures, often avoiding humans. Steve, ever the professional, was cautious yet curious. As he swam above the stingray, it suddenly lashed out with its barbed tail, striking Steve in the chest. The barb pierced his heart, causing massive trauma. Despite the crew's immediate efforts to rescue him, Steve Irwin succumbed to his injuries within minutes. Steve Irwin's death was a stark reminder of the unpredictable nature of the wild, even for someone as experienced as him. Number 3. Kelly Ann Walz. Kelly Ann and her husband Michael Walz had a hilltop menagerie near Allentown, Pennsylvania, where they kept numerous wild animals including an African lion, a cougar, a jaguar, a tiger, a leopard, and 2 servals. But of all the dangerous animals they kept, the most beloved was their black bear, Teddy. Lamentably, Teddy also proved to be their most deadly. The Walzes had raised Teddy for 9 years, from cubhood to adulthood, at their home and kept him in a 15 by 15-foot steel and concrete cage. They had reportedly never had an incident with an animal before and generally handled their pets safely, tossing food into one end of the cage while they cleaned to keep the animals at bay. On October 5, 2009, Kelly Ann Walz's body had been found inside Teddy's cage, not far away from Teddy's own dead body. Kelly Ann Walz was cleaning Teddy's cage the day he turned on her. She's done it 1,000 times, and on 1,001 something happened. The neighbor's children saw the 350-pound bear attack Walz from their home, about a football field's length away from the Walzes, and began screaming for help. By the time the neighbor arrived with his handgun, Kelly Ann Walz was unalived, and Teddy was walking out of the cage. The neighbor opened fire. "He got off of her to come out to me," the neighbor said. "I did what anyone would do. It was pretty much self-defense. Most people who keep wild animals generally have 2-section cages so they can isolate the animal while cleaning. For some reason, Kelly Ann Walz neglected to do this. Why this woman chose to go in the same area that the bear was in is beyond me." Number 2. Marius Els. Born on October 11, 1964, Marius had a lifelong passion for animals, which led him to create a unique sanctuary on his farm in the Limpopo province. His home became a haven for various exotic animals, including a particularly notable resident, a hippo named Humphrey. Humphrey the hippo was not an ordinary pet. He was a massive, powerful animal that Marius had raised from a young age. Marius's relationship with Humphrey was well known and widely covered, showcasing their unusual friendship. Marius had a reputation for interacting closely with his animals, and Humphrey was no exception. The two shared a bond that seemed almost extraordinary given the nature of hippos, which are known for their unpredictable and aggressive behavior. On the morning of January 1, 2011, Marius Els was tending to his animals as usual. The day was serene and the air was filled with the sounds of the farm waking up. Marius had a routine of spending time with Humphrey, who had grown to be a dominant and imposing figure in the animal kingdom of the farm. As Marius approached Humphrey's enclosure, something went awry. The exact details of what happened remain unclear, but the situation escalated quickly. Hippos, despite their seemingly calm demeanor, are known for their territorial and unpredictable nature. In an instant, Humphrey turned on Marius. The massive animal, known for its strength and speed, attacked Marius with overwhelming force. The attack was brutal and swift. Despite any efforts to escape or calm Humphrey, Marius was overpowered by the sheer size and power of the hippo. The situation was dire, and despite the attempts of emergency responders to reach the scene, Marius's injuries were severe. Number 1. Sandra Piovesan. Sandra was a devoted animal lover and advocate with a profound bond to the creatures she cared for. Particularly fascinated by the unique and complex relationship between humans and wolf dogs, hybrids that combine the traits of domestic dogs with those of their wild ancestors, wolves. She adopted and cared for several of these animals. Her home was a sanctuary for her beloved pets, where she provided them with a nurturing environment. She worked diligently to offer them a balanced life, one that respected their wild instincts while ensuring their safety and well-being. Despite her expertise and love for her wolf dogs, the relationship between humans and these hybrids can be unpredictable due to their wild nature. Wolf dogs, even when raised in a domestic setting, can exhibit behaviors that are more typical of their wild ancestors, which sometimes pose risks to their caretakers. One fateful day in February 2012, Sandra was tending to her wolf dogs as she had done countless times before. The details of what happened remain shrouded in uncertainty, but on that day, something went tragically wrong. The wolf dogs, perhaps feeling threatened or provoked, turned on Sandra in an attack. In a matter of moments, the situation escalated beyond control. Despite her extensive knowledge and experience, Sandra was overpowered by the sheer strength and primal instincts of the wolf dogs. Her injuries were severe, and despite the efforts of emergency responders, she succumbed to the attack. Here we reach the end of this video. In the wild, the line between admiration and danger is often thin and perilous. These 6 stories serve as a stark reminder that nature, while awe-inspiring, demands respect and caution. Crossing its boundaries can come with the ultimate price. Good luck, and see you next time.